Everybody, this is Metal on a Budget, and I'm your host, Justin. And today we try out the EVH 5150 Overdrive pedal. So yeah, the signal chain that I'm running today is a Jackson CWJ21 7-string. It has passive Jackson pickups in it, nothing fancy. Then of course we have the EVH 5150 guitars running into the Ibanez, and the Ibanez is on as always. Runs into this, into that. So what this is doing, and why is that happening? That's annoying. Okay, so what's happening here is this is where the effects are coming from. So I'm on just the rhythm channel. And then this is the lead channel. So yeah, that's as simple as I can go. I do use this setup for shows and whatnot, and it has been reliable. Knock on wood. It has been reliable. It's been a great setup. I mean, the main thing is obviously this is where all the distortion's going, and I guess I should finish the signal chain. I'm going through a Marshall MG100 HCFX through some different Marshall MG cab. It's not the stock cab for this amp. I have noticed with this Marshall cab, I do have to throw a little bit more treble into my mix, which is okay. I can adjust. This is just a clean boost, so we'll turn this off and give you an idea. This is without the tube screamer. And this is with. It kind of pushes and overdrives the tone a little bit that way. So drive all the way down, or gain, yeah, drive. Levels almost all the way up, and this is kind of get a little bit more treble with going up a little bit, and then of course treble here. I have the boost on, the gate almost all the way on. The output's pretty up there. I could go further and make it a lot louder. This pedal does, it makes your amp way louder than it probably should be. This also has a noise gate built into it, the Vox Stomp Lab. So 2 noise gates, which is very handy and necessary for high gain level tones. And yeah, I still kind of fight the backup, that noise. So compensate, throw a little bit of gain off of it. Kind of draw the gain back. Alright, now it's stopped doing it. So yeah, this video is not sponsored. This is just gear that I bought myself. At the moment, I think this pedal's going for roughly $200, but it's still on the metal on a budget because it's basically an amp, by itself. It sounds amazing. It has a great distortion tone. You really can't go wrong with this pedal. If you get it, it's a great investment with the noise gate boost. I have tried to run this setup into the effects loop of the Marshall, and it's just not sounding quite the way I like it. I guess I could go into this and adjust the noise gate because you need less noise gate through the effects loop for some reason, so I'm not really sure what the deal with that is. So yeah, with that being said, we'll go ahead and try this out. When I tried to put this into the effects loop kind of muffly, I also swapped this around with this, and I noticed that you get a little bit more out of the amp, or out of the pedal, I guess the tone. But I noticed that it just wasn't saturating the way I like it. So having it in front is the only way I can run this setup and make it sound good. If preferably, I'd like to run this into the front of the amp and then run this into the effects loop, but it's not really happening that way. It's not looking good with this particular pedal board. This pedal board here was made out of a dresser drawer, if you can look. It was just like out of the back piece of a dresser drawer. Went to Walmart and got the Velcro and whatnot and stuck it all together. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take a shot of the Marshall real quick. It's right here, and if you see, the volume is about right there, and I have it actually kind of turned down on the pedal here. Like I said, I can turn that way up and it gets really loud. So yeah, Pretty Little Marshall has the fake carbon fiber on it. Kind of cool. That's the lights and power conditioner thingy. All right, so now that we're back on the pedal, I kind of have this weird EQ'd at the moment, but it's just this cab, so I'll have to get over that. And like I said, let's do with and without the TS9. So this is without, and this is with, and without, and with. With, without. So basically, if I get into like a really tight, like I can turn that off, and then when I get into the more like distorted, saturated, like breakdowns, and then I can do like tight rhythmic channels. And then when I go into the, you know, like another breakdown. So, I mean, there's multiple purposes for each pedal. This one usually just stays on, but it is multi-purpose. It's my main noise gate and my main distortion all in one. Yeah, so I can take this setup and plug it into any amp. And I do plug this amp into I do plug these pedals into the front of the amps. I rarely put these into the effects loop. Not saying that they sound bad, but they do sound good. I've just worked really hard to get this set up to work through the front of the amps. That's just how I like to do it. If you put it into the effects loop of the amps, I notice that you don't get as much of control on the actual EQ of the amp, or if you get any at all. So I like to get that extra EQ control by plugging it into the front of the amp, and you get a little bit more, I guess you would get a little bit more out of them, because you lose a lot of that when you go into the effects loop, and it's just bypassing all that, I assume. So yeah, I like to have extra EQ because I don't have an EQ pedal at the moment. Once I get an EQ pedal, maybe that will change. But I'm going to have to upgrade my pedal board very soon. So I wanted to document this little pedal board that's been working for the past year for me. And yeah, like I said, this video is not sponsored in any way. It's just, you know, stuff that I paid for out of pocket to show you guys how to get a good cheap rig on a budget so you can get out there and start doing some metal yourself. And you hear that ground on this Jackson? Yeah, I think it's under the bridge. I don't know. As soon as I touch the strings, though, yep. Well, this is Metal on a Budget. And this is your host, Justin. I hope you have a wonderful day.